Hey everyone, we're going to do a little video here to show people who are interested in using Darwin's Demons in their classroom how they can get started doing that. So we're going to create a series of short little videos that can get you started using Darwin's Demons and hopefully make things really easy to adopt this game to demonstrate and teach evolution to your students. At any rate, what I've done already in advance is downloaded the demo from our website, www.polymorphicgames.com, and obviously I'm running it on Mac, so I downloaded the Mac demo, but we have 32 and 64-bit PC versions and Linux versions as well. It won't run on a Chromebook, but it will run on pretty much any other standalone personal computer type platform. You certainly don't need a Steam account or anything like that to use the demo for educational purposes. First thing I'm going to do to make sure that you can hear me is go into my options menu, and even though we're very proud of the soundtrack that our students created for this game, we're going to turn down the music. The other thing I want to draw your attention to when you're working with Darwin's Demons and you want to do some of the more advanced analyses, which would probably be appropriate for students in the 10th grade or later, is you want to have a look at this section here that says record data, and just make sure that's checked. So the game produces a great deal of genetic and phenotypic data, and if you want to take advantage of that, you want to have this checked. We leave it unchecked so that we don't fill up your hard drive if you don't ever want to use this, at any rate. So once you have your options set up the way you like it, I'll just let you know how it all works. So this is the basic start screen. There's a variety of different modes you can play in, and difficulties and all of these kinds of things. The basic idea is that this is an evolutionary game where the player is pitted against population of aliens with digital genomes, and the aliens that are best able to defeat the player, either by getting past them at the bottom of the screen or shooting the player, have the most babies in the next generation. And so however the aliens have configured their phenotypes to be able to do that effectively, that's what gets passed on, because we have a model of inheritance. So we'll get to that in subsequent videos. I just want to get you started in terms of getting the game going on your machine. So let's leave things in arcade mode at normal difficulty, and we'll just do a little brief orientation as to what's going on. So what you'll see is when you hit start, and I usually navigate with the mouse, but if you want to use keys to navigate, you can do that as well. So I click start, and then this is what you see. So this is the ship selection component of the game. We give the players a great deal of choice in the full release of the game, and in fact that can be quite daunting if you're a new teacher and you're sort of thinking, what's this game all about? So really, if you just want to get oriented to what's going on, let's just pick a very simple ship. This is the first ship that was ever designed. It's called the Stingray. It just shoots a laser straight up and down. You can draw your this material here is what we would call flavor text. It doesn't really affect the biology of the simulation or anything like that. It's just for fun. Over here, this tells the player how to play the game. You can navigate the menu using the mouse or the arrow keys, W, A, S, and D, or return, or the space bar. I'm just going to use the mouse for now. So the idea is you select your ship, you use left and right arrow, or W or A and D to navigate left and right, and the space bar to fire. So we're going to go ahead and select the Stingray. It's a very simple ship, easy to use. This next wheel on our panel here is secondary weapons. Now you can have defensive systems like a personal shield that can be activated periodically to defend yourself against projectiles. Or in this case, we have a high explosive direct fire torpedo. Let's go ahead and choose the shield. Now in this case, instead of clicking, I'm just going to hit the down arrow. That selects the shield and then moves us down to the next thing. These are your defensive systems. In the demo, we don't have a great deal of things unlocked, so we're just going to go ahead and pick planetary defense shields. These are little bunkers a player can hide under when the projectiles start raining down at them. So again, I'll hit the down arrow, or I could just mouse over this and click it and it will be selected. These will be what we call perks or augmentations. Don't worry about these when you're first getting started. These are things that will get unlocked in the full build of the game when players achieve certain achievements in the game, and some of them, those achievements will be motivating players to look at some of the educational content. Anyway, we won't worry about perks or anything like that. We'll just go ahead and launch. This is what we call a splash screen. There's a whole bunch of different pieces of concept art and things like this. And then now we have the game. So I'm just going to spend a few generations orienting you to how the game works. What you see up at the top there is a population of something we call the Protean swarm. It's a population of aliens that each are sexually reproducing diploid hermaphrodites, which means we don't have separate males and females, but they do require two aliens to mate in order to create a baby. Looks like I just got an achievement. That's really good, I guess. The player is defending their territory against these aliens. The aliens are either trying to shoot the player with these projectiles that you see coming down from time to time. There's one over here. Or they're dive bombing the player and trying to get past you. If they get past you, you lose a life. If you get hit with a projectile, you lose a life. Okay. At the end of each generation, it'll tell you a little bit about some score bonuses and things that you can get. We don't worry too much about this in the classroom, of course. But this panel right here will show the player some information that if they play long enough, they'll get some insights into the evolutionary process particular to their instance of the game. So up in this top left panel, we have the 5 aliens with the highest fitness. And just below them, these little green bars that say aggression, lifespan, and accuracy, those are the 3 fitness components. Aggression is how far down the screen they get. If they get past you, that's the most aggression fitness that they can get. Lifespan is how long they live. And accuracy is how close did they come to shooting the player, and they do get a bonus if they actually hit the player with one of their projectiles. So those are the 3 fitness components that get added together, and that tells us the relative fitness of all of the individual aliens. Right now, the computer is doing something called tournament selection. So it's randomly pulling a batch of aliens out of the game, and it's comparing them, and it's choosing the one with the highest fitness, and that will become a parent. And so when we have 2 parents, we create an offspring between giving each a chromosome, and the ones that have the highest fitness are the most likely to have the babies in the next generation. And that's what makes this inheritance model is what makes this an evolutionary video game. This panel down here will wait for a couple generations before we have a look at it. It will show the data particular to that instance of the game as we move along. Most of the time the x-axis is the generations that the players played. And then over here, I mean, depending on the age of your kids, they might be motivated by the fact that they can upgrade their ship. Every time you kill an alien, you get a small amount of biomatter, and you can spend that biomatter on upgrades. So in this case, I can upgrade my shield durability, the number of uses of my personal shield, how often I can fire, that kind of stuff. I can buy extra lives. So I'll just spend my biomatter, hit launch, and now we're starting the second generation. This is called Generation 1 because we work with computer scientists, and they like to start numbering things at 0. Here is the part where we start to see variation. You can see a couple of the aliens in the top right of the screen have purplish eyes, and when they shoot projectiles, the projectiles are homing projectiles. There's another one right above me right now here. And then there's a fourth right over here. You can see those projectiles are homing towards me. If I leave those aliens for a long time and let them shoot very close to me, if this really is an evolutionary game, they should have the highest fitness and therefore the most babies in the next generation. So let's just test that just to see what's possible here. So in this particular demo, I think I'll go for maybe 3 generations just so you can see what's going on. I think I'm going to let this projectile hit me. So I've lost a life there. And now We'll finish the generation. I don't know what that achievement means. My developers are busy putting these achievements in the game right now in our development cycle, and so that's why you're seeing that. All right, so we've got some score bonuses, and again, that's, so you can see here's some of those aliens, the 4 aliens with the purple eyes that shoot the homing projectiles. They all made it into the top 5 for fitness. Most of which is driven by the fact that I let them live a long time, so their lifespan bar is quite high. We also see one of them has a high aggression bar. It got down the screen quite far, and a medium-sized accuracy bar, probably because that's the one that actually hit me. So let's do another generation or two. This graph right here is starting to show the frequency of color variants that are emerging in the population. So our prediction is that if we keep letting these things do well, we should start seeing more of them in the next population. So I'm going to just go ahead and launch and just see what happens. So far, kinda, I see a few of those purple aliens. And yes, indeed, they are shooting a lot of homing projectiles, and this game is getting difficult in a hurry. So I'm purposefully trying to select for this type of alien. And that's one of the ways that your students might be interested in playing the game. Can they get a certain color of alien to predominate in the population? I don't suggest homing bullet-based aliens because it becomes extraordinarily difficult to play the game, but maybe that's part of the fun. Alright, so I'm going to stop selecting for those things because otherwise I'll die pretty quickly, and we'll just try to play the game. And again, we're trying to defend the bottom of the screen and not let any aliens pass and destroy the population, and then we'll get to the next wave or generation. So the generation is complete. I'm going to go ahead and skip over this, and now you can see this large amount right here of this red. That denotes this type of alien. So our selection for this color of alien is working quite well. So we'll do one more generation just to see how that works. This will show the player their data in terms of how accurate they are and how many lives they lost in a particular generation. We'll leave dominance and these other graphs for another video, I think. So let's just focus on color variation for today. So I'll go ahead, I think I'm going to repair my shields, and we'll launch and we'll see what generation 3 looks like. So once again, I'm seeing a ton of the aliens that shoot homing bullets, but every generation when we have 2 of these aliens mate and create an offspring, we apply mutation function. So new genetic variation is being created in the population through mutation every generation. And so that's why we're seeing new variants pop up. So in this case, we've got some aliens that shoot in sine waves, which is a little hard to dodge. And we've got aliens that shoot cold-based projectiles. I just got hit. I'll show you. So my personal shield is the Alt key on a Mac. So I can be shooting these things, and I push the Alt key, and I get a temporary shield that prevents me from getting destroyed. So you can see several aliens are actually getting quite low on the screen. That's going to give them a fitness advantage with regard to aggression. This one... Alright, so this will be the last generation that we complete. I think we'll just... And you can see, again, so this purple slice is those aliens that shoot in a sine wave. And you can see we've got an even larger fraction of the aliens that shoot homing missiles. And that's because we've been letting them live a long time and letting their bullets come near us. And so we've got a fair amount of aggression fitness, lifespan fitness, and then the accuracy fitness is also going up. So if we just have a quick look at the next generation, we'll just see what we end up with. And again, it looks like we have predominantly homing bullet type aliens, which can get hairy in a hurry. So that is just how to start a game and play the game, the basic idea of Darwin's Demons. And we'll post another several videos to just give you an idea of how you might be able to use this game in your classroom to demonstrate components of evolutionary biology. I hope this is helpful, and I hope you enjoy playing Darwin's Demons. Thanks. Thanks.